I'm fucking crazy, bro. Look at this shit.
This is your fate.
It's just business. Don't take it personally.
Sweet. Yeah, welcome back everyone. And I've got SMH Tristan. Kristen, how you doing, man?
I'm good, Drax. How are you, man?
Yeah, doing really good. Although I was saying to you before, the heat is killing me, man. I'm gonna have to get a haircut, eh?
Oh, honestly, I'm melting under here.
Yeah, no, once again, thanks for coming on, man. Tell us about yourself, your history.
I've been playing Tekken ever since Tekken 3, but I've only really started playing competitive during 7, just because I saw some of my friends were getting better than me, so I was like, that's not happening. So that's really that's really what kind of got me into competitive Tekken. I play a few other games, but yeah.
Yeah, because would you consider yourself a multi-game? Because it's Tekken. I've seen you jam Mortal Kombat and Soul Calibur, even touching a bit of Street Fighter too.
Yeah, I would consider myself like a multi-game like player. Absolutely.
Yeah. But Tekken is your bread and butter. That's kind of the game you want to.
Yeah, Tekken is my ride or die. Like if it comes down to it, it's always going to be Tekken.
Yeah. Why? Like, what was it about Tekken specifically that got you interested in competitive?
Well, I've with like casual like gameplay like with friends and stuff, they'd always kind of be like, oh, why don't you ever try just like compete or like play in tournaments and shit? And I'm like, yeah, nah, probably not. And then like a few people from like the Tekken community, like notably Dr. Duck, when we had Xmas Damage in 2018, he was like, yo, come join my team. And that was kind of my first ever like tournament debut.
Yeah.
And it's been fun ever since.
I remember that. You were playing Anna. Yeah, team tournament. I definitely remember that.
Yeah.
Oh, man. It's a shame because you started off with a group of friends and they've quite... Like, are you still with the same group of, like, friends in the fighting game scene?
Well, initially when it was with Dr. Duck and MIA, those were my teammates. I wasn't really friends with MIA really, but Dr. Duck, I used to play a lot of games with him and whatnot, but I think because he's got school, because he is quite young, deceptively,
Yeah.
in comparison to his like stature as a person, I think he's just very busy with school and whatnot, so I don't really speak with him too much.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, my friends in the scene have definitely evolved from then till now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you commit quite a lot of time online. I've seen you playing some of your lobbies. How are you finding the current season with the changes to the netcode?
To be honest, I don't really notice too much of a difference. I consider myself to have some like good internet, so my connection's always fine. But there is like less like jitter, less lag, and all of that stuff, so it does feel a bit better. But for me, it's not like substantial. Yes, this is like noticeable, really.
Okay, yeah. And I did remember that you played Claudio originally, and you used to have your chats, your talks with Dan Banter, because at the time I think he was maining Claudio too. He was really our only Claudio main.
Yeah, that was very early on.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And so this change from Claudio to Safina, is it because she's just more of a solid character?
Personally, I generally do tend to gravitate towards like the female cast anyways. But with the Zafina thing, it's just she's always been one of my favorite characters ever since Tekken 6 back when I was in like year 6 in school, because I was like, oh dude, she's Middle Eastern. She's got like all of these acrobatic like tricks and stuff, like she's a gymnast and she's just weird. Like I love it. And I played her in Tag 2, and then obviously when Tekken 7 came out and she wasn't in the base roster, I was a bit disappointed. And then so I just looked at Claudio and I was like, you know what? He seems aesthetically pleasing. Let's just play him. And yeah. And once she was announced, and I remember one of my friends messaged me, I literally woke up that morning. He's like, dude, Zafina got announced. And I didn't believe him, so I looked it up, found the trailer video, and I swear to God, I was on the verge of tears because That's how much I love the character.
Yeah. No, I know your pain, man. I was playing Leo on the arcade base release. You
Oh
know, that
yeah.
was not fun. Yeah, yeah. I can definitely feel your pain, man. But were there a lot of Zafina players back when you were jamming Tag 2?
No, to be honest, Zafina's objectively been a terrible character up until this game, so yeah, and I mean when you consider it, like a majority of fighting game players are male, and most male players don't gravitate towards females just based on the fact that they're female characters. So you know, you couple those two factors, and you just get non-existent player base for Zafina.
Yeah. I mean, how many were there at Nationals? I mean, I think there were 3, including you in my pool. Yeah,
Oh yeah, dude. Now,
I was so like, oh God, please no.
yeah, now the Zafina players all of a sudden start emerging, and I'm just like, oh yeah, that's nice.
Yeah. Well, actually, speaking of Nationals, how did you feel you did in the games that you participated in?
Honestly, I'll be honest, I was slightly disappointed that I didn't do as well as I'd hoped to, but um, I do bear in mind that I was struggling with some like uni assignments. I even brought my whole PC just so I could do my assignments while everyone else was asleep. Um, and just the fact that I don't generally get to sleep very often just because I have pretty bad insomnia. There were some factors that contributed towards it, but at the same time, I'm not taking away from players that I lost to because you know they also played quite well. You know, I lost to you and Wowzer, and you're quite noble players, the both of you. So it's not fair to just be like, oh, I was tired, because that's not the only factor in it, really. All in all, though, I was impressed with myself when versing Wowzer, just because it was a bit close. Um, so I feel for me that that's a feat that I can be proud of. Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, speaking of the other Safina player, 305, seeing that match on stream against Wales, that was another like what the hell moment kind of. Yeah,
That was crazy. That
bro.
was so crazy.
He was sidestepping so much shit, eh? Like always getting behind
Yeah.
Wales. So it was like, how the fuck does this character do that so easily?
Oh man, yeah, Zafina, she's a very interesting character. Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, those results, as you said, I'm feeling a certain way about them. I'm not taking away from the skill of those players, but I think we
Yeah.
all agree is that the result was what we expected. It was just the path towards it was so mess up. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the whole Tekken you know shenanigans at nationals, that was a bit crazy because there was just so many unexpected like bumps and like corners and turns that not too many people were very ready for.
Yeah. Well, some people that we weren't ready for, well, we knew they were there, but maybe we didn't give them their due credit. Was some of your close friends like Miss Glam. I mean, I know she's become quite a notable name in the scene, starting to grow a bit of a following since starting streaming on Twitch. Yeah, man, she's quite something.
Yeah, no, she's absolutely she's a character herself. Um, yeah, no, honestly, I have a lot of respect and love for her as a friend and as a player as well.
Is she one of the reasons why you stick with Anna?
To be honest, we so there's like 3 of us Anna players in our little clique, which would be Miss Glam, Lionheart, and myself. And I just think we all gravitate towards the character for the same reason. You know, she's sassy, she's sexy, she's you know, she's just in your face. She's a bit obnoxious as well. And I think that kind of character appeals to the 3 of us in similar ways.
Yeah.
Um, but I don't think either of us play the character solely based on the fact that the rest of us play it. So it's not like a general consensus.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. If you could describe your playstyle, so you know, Miss Glam is definitely Rushdown. How would you define your playstyle compared to hers and Lionheart's?
Well, yeah, as you said, Miss Glam is quite like Rushdown heavy. Um, and then you've got Lionheart, and with Lionheart, he's a bit more technical than the 3 of us. I would have to say, um, purely based on the fact that he knows the ins and outs of the characters. But He plays more fundamentally than Rushdown, and he likes to utilize a lot of like tech traps and setups and whatnot.
Yep.
And then myself, oh god, I don't even know how to describe my playstyle. Um, for me, I generally start with a lot of aggression, and then adjust how much defense I need to incorporate into my playstyle based on the success or the failure of my aggression.
Yeah.
Or it would be the other way around. It would be I'd start off very defensively, and then I'd start working the aggression I think is necessary for it.
Okay. Do you apply that level of aggression when using Safina, or do you go to a different spot?
Absolutely. No, absolutely. I play less fundamental, Zafina than I do aggro in your face, like mix up Zafina.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's not really orthodox if you were to ask like the other like Zafina players. They'd just look at it and be like, what the hell?
Yeah. Yeah. That's cool. So you,
Hmm.
Musclam, and Lionheart, that's your kind of trope. That's your group, the Three Musketeers.
As well as obviously as well as Dizzle Dan as well. I wouldn't say the Three Musketeers. I'd say we're the Fantastic Four.
Oh, even better.
I'd have to say we're the Fantastic Four.
All right. Well, then who is Susan Storm? Who's the Invisible Girl? It would have to be Musclam, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
I not based on the gender thing, but I think on a personality level thing. I think the whole invisible powers. I think she'd absolutely love that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, who would be the leader of the group then? Like, if you guys are going to get at dinner after Hambats or Rambats, who's calling shots for dinner?
Oh, dude, don't even get me started, bro. Like, honestly, I'm gonna be real. I don't care if they get upset, but during our Wellington trip, because we did a Wellington trip to go visit them.
Yeah.
And then obviously the Hamilton trip, I booked the Airbnb. I sorted out the itinerary. I got everyone's ass into check. Every time, where you guys want to go eat? Okay, sweet. I'm driving us. I'm doing this. I'm doing this. So it was just a whole bunch of me kind of just like not looking after them, but making sure everything was kind of going to plan.
Yeah, like you're playing the role of the good host.
Yeah, I'm just the mum friend. If it's anything, I'm the mum friend.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, nice. So what? Hamilton, Wellington. Is there a spot that you would want to go to with those guys?
Honestly, without like, if there are no COVID restrictions in place, I think a lot of us would appreciate like a trip to Japan. I think honestly, all of us would be we'd be frothing at the mouth for the opportunity. But I think ideally, in a realistic world, I think we're kind of looking at other like nationals or like big major scene thingies like like Red Zone Rumble coming up and stuff.
Yeah.
So ideally, that would probably be like the next destination.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, if not, then yeah, definitely go overseas, go to Japan or something.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like I said, Miss Glam, she's making a name for herself in the Tekken community, and you've got Lionheart, who's kind of known worldwide for his infamous combo vids with Nina, and then yourself wanting to get that overseas experience. Would you guys want to come to the next BAM when it's ever happening?
Personally, I would be very, very on board with that. I can't speak on the behalf of the others in regards to that because we haven't really spoken much about it. But I don't think it's a realistic or achievable feat for me just because I am still studying, so it might kind of interfere with that as well.
Okay. Can I ask what is it you're studying, man?
Yeah, I'm studying to be a counselor.
Oh, cool. Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Okay, so just like
mental health counseling.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. How you kind of how's that going anyway? Like in terms of like
It's
getting
definitely good.
getting into that industry. I mean, like I'd say it's quite easy. It's just you need the qualification.
It depends. Like if you're someone who holds like a lot of trauma or have a lot of like mental health baggage and you go into it, it definitely has a way of resurfacing your own bad experiences and whatnot. But yeah, I mean, it just depends on like your real life experiences and whether or not there's a chance that could be brought back up.
Yeah.
Ideally, like it's not really a difficult um, it's not really a difficult profession, if I were to say so myself, but there are definitely things that make it very difficult.
Yeah, I
But
think.
yeah, no, it's yeah.
Yeah. No. Plus, also, to have that kind of that mental strength yourself because you're dealing with that kind of work and those kind of people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I guess so. Tekken, Soul Calibur and stuff. It's a nice way to kind of desync away from that kind of intense work.
Yeah, yeah. It definitely it allows me to detach from everything else and just kind of unwind.
Mm. And also, I remember that you're one of the few players that's probably been to more handbats than ranbats, but I know it's because you enjoy the family vibe. And Arashi, for example, he brings such a warmness to that scene. Yeah, man.
No, absolutely. Like honestly, handbats, it just feels so communal. I do appreciate the fact that it's not really click oriented, and everyone's just talking to everyone and interacting and laughing and joking and just all of this like very wholesome. There's just such a wholesome environment.
Yeah, no, that's true, man.
The other reason why I've gone to more handbats than I have like rambats, for example, in Auckland is because I only really started going to locals this year, and with Auckland having heavier COVID restrictions, it has been a bit difficult for us to kind of get our local scene going.
Yeah.
So I don't mind the drive down to Hamilton. It's just an hour away from where I live, and I've made a few friends, so it's always a pleasure for me to go down.
Yeah. Plus, it's that weird thing, being from the Auckland scene and you come to Hamilton, like people actually are
Mm.
like, "Oh, I know you. I've heard of you." You know.
Oh, I got that the first time we went. Oh my God! Oh, sorry,
That
something. I got that the first time we went. Someone was like, "Oh, aren't you that Tristan guy?" And I was like, "Uh, depends who's asking." And he's like, "Oh no, like I joined your lobby. Like I was playing with you that other night, blah blah blah." And I was like, "Oh shit!" And yeah, it just kept like cascading from there. Like every now and again, someone would be like, "Oh, I saw you on Twitch the other night." Blah blah blah. I'm like, "Oh, sweet,
Mm,
that's cool." It's an unfamiliar feeling for me.
yeah. I'll just bring it back. I'll just bring it into Soul Calibur 6, man. What's happening with that game? Because Setsuka really, like after the roundtable thing, Setsuka came out.
Mm,
And they've just been doing those like online tournaments, the PS4 ones.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
I mean, we see these online tournaments happening. There was the one in Europe, and then we've seen it with the Tekken Online Challenger, where they had the AU event, where they had the Australian players doing the exhibition matches. What
yeah.
do you think it will take for New Zealand to actually get a chance at these exclusive events?
I mean, I think if we're talking about Soul Calibur specifically, I just don't think New Zealand has a wide enough player base for them to like facilitate like a New Zealand event.
Yeah.
Which is a bit upsetting because I just feel that a lot of people do overlook Soul Calibur as a game and they just see it as unrealistic because of the weapons or the combat just looks cooked because it doesn't follow the generic like 2D/3D like niche. Um, so I honestly, for those of us who'd love a Soul Calibur 6 like major event, you know, like the ones that they've had in like Australia and Europe and the Americas and whatnot. I just really think that it's up to us Soul Calibur players to encourage more players to try and pick up the game,
Yeah.
just so that we can facilitate a bigger player base, so that we can get these like events and whatnot.
Mm. I did mention it to Neil privately and in a previous episode about how Soul Calibur, it seems like it's a Discord game. In order to find matches online, you have to request them.
Yeah,
Do you find
yeah.
that experience yourself quite taxing?
To be honest, I do. Like, I don't really use Discord too often. I only really use Discord when I'm, chatting with friends playing like games on my computer. But for example, like before I started playing on my computer and I was playing on PS4, it would be a bit annoying that I'd have my phone in one hand, like messaging a whole group of people, sometimes not even getting a reply, but when I do, then being like, oh, I'm on this platform, and like, oh, okay, I don't want to play on that platform, but whatever. It's just all of this like just so many steps just to find a few matches, and it just doesn't seem very worth it to me.
Yeah. No, I get you. Who would you normally?
Yeah.
Who would you most often play in Soul Calibur 6 in the scene?
Oh, I absolutely stick to Raphael in Soul Calibur.
Oh, okay. Oh, Raphael, I
Mm.
like that. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, he's very technical and he's very interesting. Mostly also due to the fact that my original main character from Soul Calibur 5 is an N6, so I have kind of had to just resort to the next best thing.
Oh, okay. Forgive me. Who was the original character?
I love Viola.
Oh no. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Dog's gonna hate
I
you for that.
I don't give a shit, bro. Honestly, I love Viola. I like Zvi as well, even though Zvi was terrible. I loved him just because he was just so just aesthetically nice.
Bro,
I gravitated
I
towards
think we were
aesthetics.
talking about this after nationals on the walk over to get of walk to get dinner. We are talking about Viola, and I think Dog was like, "No, we don't talk about that character."
That's quite funny.
Oh Jesus! What is it about this character that people hate so much? Besides the fact that she's not Amy with a rapier.
Oh, dude. Just tech traps galore. She had like an infinite back throw loop that you could just endlessly do, and you know that's it. Like you're dead. She gets you in it, you're screwed. Obviously banned for competitive, but just a insane tech. The traps, the pressure, the mix up, just everything. It's like Zafina on crack.
That does not sound fun at all.
No,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely not.
Fucking hell. Do you think that Soul Calibur 6 is a well balanced game, or are there still cracks that need to be sorted?
I definitely think that there are certain things in Soul Calibur that are definitely not balanced appropriately. My biggest issue would be like the reversal edge mechanic, the whole like rock paper scissors like cinematic um aspect. I don't like the fact that you could literally deflect each and every attack and throw as long as it's not a break attack or unblockable, and then engage in like a rock paper scissors clash
Mm.
where if you win you get damage, if you lose you take damage, but at the same time just simply initiating it gives you such an extensive amount of meter. It's crazy. I just don't like the fact that the that you get a big reward for using a defensive tool, you know.
Yeah.
It's a bit silly in my opinion, but you know, to each their own.
Yeah.
That's my biggest quirk. I mean, some characters I feel are definitely overtuned. Some characters work a lot harder to achieve more, whereas some characters can work not as hard just to achieve the same thing, and it's a bit pointless.
Well, do you believe in comeback mechanics? Stuff like the rock, paper, scissors, stuff like rage arts, or do you feel like it just gives the losing player more fire in the fist to fight back?
It's definitely like a double-edged sword. Like for example, you know, I could be versing you for, you know, you could be on like a quarter health, I could be on like a pixel, and I could rage at you. And like if you're mindlessly spamming buttons, like sure, that will catch you
Yeah.
off guard. And that you'd be like, oh, look at this degenerate using his rage art for panic, blah blah blah. You know, sometimes you can use it, like sometimes having rage and like not using rage art is what makes it scary.
Yeah.
Because that would kind of make your opponent less hesitant to mindlessly spam. Whereas at times I just do feel that these comeback mechanics can be a bit toxic at times. Like I don't think they're always toxic, but at the same time I think they can be a bit ridiculous.
Yeah. But
Like personally, I don't mind I don't mind rage drives. I think rage drives were like a pretty cool like addition to the game. I don't really like rage arts.
yeah. Okay. But would you say what would you say would be the worst comeback you've seen? A comeback feature in a fighting game.
The worst comeback feature. Oh, dude, this is a bit difficult because a lot of them are bad, but I can't really like pinpoint ones that are like really like just shit in general. Um, for me, I feel my two biggest contenders would have to be Tekken's Rage Arts, um, and Soul Calibur's Critical critical edges.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The reason why I don't like rage arts for the most part as a comeback mechanic is it's just the armor, you kind of just get like a get out of jail free cards so long as you use it wisely. And also some of the rage arts are just terribly animated, and some of them are just way too fucking long.
Yeah.
Like Negan, I swear, like if I could manufacture a script that would alt F4 the second I get rage outed by Negan, I would.
Bro, it's
Because
like
I can't
yeah.
tolerate that.
It's like you're watching an actual episode of The Walking Dead as soon as he does it.
Yeah. Yeah, like, and not before it was bad, but like after it was bad as well.
Mm.
The only reason why I can't put rage arts beneath Soul Calibur's critical edges is because most of them are universally punishable to the same degree, whereas you have like a few niche ones like the high 13 frame ones or like the unblockables that you have to duck or jump.
Yeah.
But for the most part, they're all the same in the sense that you can most likely launch them after. Whereas Soul Calibur's, the frame data just varies. Some of them just don't even feel like you're taking much of a risk. Like I could just do it, and you're gonna get like a 12 frame punish on me. That's it. Like
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, it's so stupid.
Well, bringing it back to Soul Calibur, I know that Virtual Bacon and Connor were looking at running their own Soul Calibur event, similar to what the stage Down Under or the History Down Under, the ones that the Australian boys do. Would that be like growing the Soul Calibur scene? Like that would really help, but also, like, do we struggle getting Australian players to enter the New Zealand online tournaments?
I don't really know too much about like the tournament scene like locally in New Zealand. I don't really compete too often. Like as we kind of like mentioned earlier, it's mostly like based around Discord, and to be honest, I just have all of my notifications on Discord because I don't really know what's going on half the time on there. Yeah, no. I mean if that's what Connor and Dog are doing, that's awesome, and I applaud them for trying to, grow the community and also keep the community alive because it is so frail and just so it's just lacking numbers.
Yeah.
And it's good that they're doing what they can to keep that going.
Yeah. No, yeah, they are Dog, Connor, Bacon, I think Ben as well.
Yeah, Ben too.
Yeah. So yeah, at the time of this recording, MK11, they've just had they've had the patch release, leading up to Combat Pack 2, and Mileena. Do you have any thoughts or comments on this basic bitch?
Hey, first of all,
not to be rude, I'm just like, I know a lot of people want this girl, but I don't.
Yeah. You have to make sure you properly address Queen Mileena.
Oh, Queen Mileena. All right.
Mileena Kahnum.
Mileena, sorry.
Yeah. No, I did check. So it does look like they've, for the most part, like made some very, very like good changes where they've addressed a lot of issues. Like, if you think dick jabbing in Tekken's bad, you probably haven't played Mortal Kombat long enough. Like characters with low pokes, like their down ones and their down threes are just so ridiculous. So they've definitely like slowed some of the more obnoxious ones down. So they've made like appropriate balance changes, which are cool. They've definitely looked at characters that haven't been performing well, and they've made the adjustments to those characters to kind of bump them up, as well as kind of bumping down the top tier slightly. And honestly, Combat Pack 2, yeah, I think it's pretty cool, if I'm going to be honest about it.
Okay. Yeah, what's Mileena, Rain, and Rambo? You were saying they were bumping down some of the quite strong characters. Who are some of those characters?
Well, the one I struggle with the most, which is like consensus among most of the Mortal Kombat community anyways, is just Jackie. Jackie is disgusting. Like, she has a special move that allows her to like leap up into the air. That's like obviously cancelable from strings, which means that she can pressure you with strings, do that jump, that she can meter burn, that lets her get a not guaranteed, but like more block pressure because she gets a jump and attack, which leaves her at plus, which means she can do strings again. And it's just this like stupid like loop that is just constantly in play when she has meter.
Yeah.
So definitely Jackie. I know Garrus, a lot of people still complain about Garrus being strong, which is fair enough. Garrus is just absurd. But yeah, I think it's just mostly those two characters that definitely needed to be bumped down, which they did.
Yeah. And who's one character that definitely needed to get bumped up?
Honestly, I see a lot of characters that struggle in this game, and I would put, depending on the variation, I'd put Raiden, but not in every variation, which is fine. But there's definitely characters like Aaron Black that could definitely be improved. I think Scarlet can be helped as well. There's quite a lot of characters. I mean, like Mortal Kombat, I would say is quite balanced, but I just think that the characters that are weak are definitely weak, and the characters that are strong are just they're more than a mouthful to handle. Like
Yeah.
it's a bit crazy.
Yeah. I do like the aesthetic of Rain. Mileena, I just wish the outfit looked a bit different. But apart from that,
Yeah.
I think she looks great. I just think that's why I said basic bitch, because that outfit just for me is just a little bit basic. I was kind of expecting a little bit more, and I can't describe it. But not savagery, not sultry, but I'm sure you can put the image together. But yeah, are you quite excited for her to come back?
I am thrilled. I remember she came back. I think. What day did she come back? She came back during one of the days of Southern Cross Up. I was literally woken up by Glam, Dizzle Dan, and Lionheart, and then they just looked at me and they're like, "Oh, by the way, they announced Mileena," and I was like, "I know I'm fucking tired, but don't take advantage of the fact that I'd probably be gullible."
Yeah.
And they're like, "No, seriously." And then I looked and I was like, "Dude, this is so cool." And then I heard her voice and I was like, no.
It sounds like she's got something stuck in the throat, man.
Yeah, and also for her to be like a clone of Katana, like technically like a twin, they don't really look alike at all. Like their face shape is so varied.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
Yeah, no, I agree.
When I saw Rain, I loved it. Rain's always been like not always, but Rain's just been one of those characters that I have kind of liked because of his design, his aesthetic, and his abilities and whatnot. Like I played him a lot in MK9, so seeing him come back again was nice. But then to know that the two games that he was playable in, he's been DLC in both is just a bit shitty, in my opinion. But
no.
And honestly, Rambo, I'm not always too thrilled about guest characters, so I don't have an opinion.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, but Butterjaw though, Butterjaw's he's definitely
Yeah.
He's excited for Rambo. He's
Yeah, whenever there's a Mortal Kombat announcement, right, he's always trying to push MK strong. And I give him credit though. But he has that thing, and I'm not meaning this in any negative way, but you know, because you win all the time, you kind of get seen as a villain in people's eyes, even though you're not really doing, you know, that kind of thing. And I mean, he is kind of we had the boy, you know, incident last year, and Gilbags coming through, but yeah, I mean, when Mileena and Rain come out, he's just going to be abusing them the hell out of everyone.
I actually don't know about you said something about like the boy. I don't know what that was about.
Oh, Boy 9-1. I just mean when he came to Nationals last year.
Oh, no clue.
Oh, okay. Well, online warrior, but he proved his worth. He took out MK last year. It was yeah. So, but he didn't show up this year. So that was I think we were all hoping if he could come again. But yeah, there's always.
Sorry, no,
Go.
I was gonna say, in terms of Butterjaw, I know it's like the generic thing to kind of look at the person who wins consistently and look at them as the villain, but honestly, like if there is anyone who's watching this specifically for Mortal Kombat related content, and you do see Butterjaw in that light, you just have to look in his direction and see him in person, and you just want to run up and hug him.
Yeah,
he is such a nice human being. I have a great appreciation for him. He's just so wonderful. and just lovely, and he's always just so kind.
Yeah.
Obviously, like every player, we do have our moments where we kind of get a bit irritated, and we've definitely driven each other to that extent a few times. But with him, he's literally the type to he'll get shitty, and then like 3 minutes later, he'll just be like, "Hey, good games, man." Like he's lovable.
Yeah. I see parallels between Butterjaw and Virtual Bacon. Both are pioneers in their designated games. They're doing what they can to elevate their scene, and one is seen as kind of doing content and trying to level up the whole scene, and then there's another one that's just really trying to, in people's view, assert their dominance. But
Yeah.
I guess it's that kind of just reading it the wrong way, you know? Yeah.
I just think it's like your social media like outreach and stuff as well. Like Virtual Bacon does a lot of like artwork, does a lot of character guides. He's for people who look at him, they just see someone who's constantly extending their arm, like their hand out, like being like, "Come on,
Yeah.
I'll guide you, I'll show you." Whereas like I think Butterjaw's kind of just like in his own world. Like he's not really thinking about how would this image or this tweet or this post affect other people. I think it's just like, this is in my mind, I'm transferring it to my phone, I'm sending it out into the web, and like that's it.
Yeah.
So I think there is I understand why there's a bit of a difference in the light that both of them are seen in.
Yeah. No, it's actually good to know that I'm not the only one that has seen it like that, eh?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, bringing it back to season 4 of Tekken 7, are you liking
Oh,
Kuni?
yeah.
Where are you putting her in terms of her strength compared to the other characters in the roster?
Kuni is aesthetically just stunning. Not really happy with the fact that they redesigned her to be original Kunimitsu's daughter because of the whole older woman can't be in fighting games thing, which has been a common theme for a while. Kuni as a character, I've noticed she has a bit of issues with her tracking, which isn't really ideal, but I'm glad that she's not overtuned in that regard, like a lot of other characters have been, especially season 3. Her combo damage just slightly above average, like it's nothing too crazy. She has some annoying jab strings, but besides that, I would probably not throw her in S tier or anything like that. I'd probably put her at A tier, maybe A plus if anything, but A tier definitely.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Yeah, she's fun. She is a bit strong, but besides that, she's not over the top, or she's not Leroy or Fuckum levels. You know, she's below them, definitely.
Her wall carry as well. Like, I guess, you know, she's got decent wall carry, easy execution.
Yeah,
definitely not as gimmicky as Yoshimitsu, but more popular. That's for sure.
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, I wish they'd kept the original Kuni.
I wish so too. I wish they gave her this new like costume and whatnot, but just, you know, obviously kept her as the OG Kuni. But yeah, the thing is, you mentioned her like her wall carry and stuff, but the thing is like with this game, especially post season 2, even like especially season 3 as well, every character just has some stupid wall carry.
It's become the staple now.
It literally has. Like, obviously some characters, like, to note, like Lee, for example, definitely needs a lot more execution than Kuni would, or Nina. Oh, like, and Nina as well as, like, Lee and a few other characters. I think my biggest issue is, I don't like the fact that there are characters that can achieve good, if not better, wall carry than higher execution characters. Like, it doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah. No, it goes back to that risk versus reward thing, and maybe we need more time with Kuni to really understand what her risk reward situation is. But it's definitely not a huge, like it's not risking. You know, you're not overextending or anything.
Yeah, nah, she definitely gets a lot of payout for a lot of her things.
And what about Safina, my man? Are you personally happy with your changes?
Honestly, my overlook on Zafina was like 3 major things. Like she has great damage. She has great like wall carry. Oh no, sorry, not wall carry. So great damage, great movement, and great crushing, right?
Yeah.
So the thing is, for me, like when you're supposed to be a jack of all trades, you're supposed to be like objectively good at everything, but like you're not supposed to excel at anything, right?
Yeah.
Whereas she was kind of good at everything and she excelled a lot. So for me, I was happy that they did kind of reduce one of those three major things that she's good at, which is her damage, because she does fit the play style of lot of movement, lot of like poking and like crushing and stuff. So there is that she retains her like factor of like evasion that her character is kind of like based around, as she is supposed to be like an assassin and whatnot. And I'm glad that they did reduce the damage because I just think it was very necessary. You have Paul, for example. He's not the biggest mix-up character. He's not the biggest evasive character, or not the biggest like movement heavy character. But when it comes to damage, he's off the charts.
Yeah. When he takes you to the wall, he's the best. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Which I think, despite his damage being high, I don't think it's it's overpowered, because he doesn't necessarily excel at too many other things. Whereas a lot of these season 3 characters like Fucking Rum, Leroy, and Zafina, they've just topped the charts in so many things. So it's good that they did kind of look at their their character niche and adjusted the characters so that they fit their niche well.
Yeah.
Like Fucking Rum's this huge brute, like Muay Thai, kickboxing, like he's crazy big, everything. It made no sense for him to have excellent backdash and excellent sidestep. And over time, they made the appropriate changes, and now his playstyle and his aesthetic actually do kind of match, and I think that's fair.
Yep.
Whereas Zafina's this like slender, like she's like contortionist like character. You wouldn't
Yes.
think she'd pack that much of a punch, but she gets you to the wall, you're screwed.
Yeah, man.
Whereas now it's a bit more fair, and although as a Zafina main who doesn't play fundamentally and focuses more on like mix up and like max damage combos and stuff, I'm not the slightest bit upset that they tackled her damage. I think it's definitely fair.
Yeah. Do you think that there is still a character or characters in season 3 that need to get cut a bit more?
Well, like for me, there's always been like the golden child in like every Tekken game, but this Tekken game has fostered a lot more than one golden child. Like honestly, I don't know why they keep buffing Devil Jin.
Yeah.
I swear to God, like I'm fucking sick of it. I don't like the fact that Devil Jin keeps getting buffed. I don't like the fact that like I wouldn't say Steve keeps getting buffed,
But he
but
just doesn't change dramatically. He's pretty much the same. Yeah.
he's been the same for like a few seasons, and that same Steve has been quite strong the entire time. I just don't understand their love for like the select handful of characters that they're always keeping their eye out on. Like like Steve, Devil Jin. I don't know about Jin. Like I think Jin's a bit. He gets tossed back and forth, like a hot potato. Like they don't know what to do with him, but whatever they do with him is still working, which is fine. Kazuya, I'm so sick of seeing Kazuya buffs as well. Holy shit, man. But yeah, no, honestly, I season 4 for the most part's been good.
Yeah.
But I just want to see the fall of these S tiers. I want the D tiers to get more love. Like
Yeah.
where are the Lily buffs? Where are the whoever else bears? I don't know other D tiers. I only wanted to talk about Lily because I play her. I don't care about the others. But yeah, no, it's just depressing.
No, bro, I hear you, man. Like, but in this patch, they did introduce a few things. Like, Gigas has got some really good counter hit launches now that start off at like 34, 36 damage. That's massive.
Which is insane, yeah.
Yeah. And what about Zafina's new move? Is that quite useful? Or new moves? I'm not sure what she got.
She got 2 new moves. So she got an extension from Scarecrow 1, which is Scarecrow 1-4, which is a high mid that puts her into Tarantula, and it's not optional. You always go into Tarantula. With that move, like I haven't really figured out too much besides if you get a second hit counter hit from that Scarecrow 1/4, you can do Tarantula 1 into Tarantula 1+2, and it's like a guaranteed reset, and Tarantula 1+2 screws, so you get like a bonus 40 damage.
Yeah.
And that's the only application for that move I found. I haven't really explored much of Mantis Downfall 4. That's a homing mid from Mantis that puts her also into Tarantula. I haven't really explored too much. I know 305 was he was in my stream yesterday, and he said that he found some tech with it, and he said that he'd be keen to show me, but he's like, it's just too much to type. For the most part, on paper, they're a bit underwhelming, but you know, I'm sure people will know. We'll learn more about what those moves are capable of, but to me, I just don't really care. I don't like the fact that you're forced into Tarantula after both moves.
Yeah.
Because Tarantula is, in my opinion, I think it's subjectively the worst of the three stances.
Yeah.
But you know,
but hey, that could be the reason though, eh? Like they're just trying to get you to Tarantula.
Yeah, fair enough. Like if they had made changes to some moves in Tarantula and they wanted more ways to get to Tarantula, I'd be like, yeah, fair enough. That's cool. But Tarantula was left untouched, and then they're just like, hey, you can go into this really shitty stance for the low price of pressing 1/4 and Scarecrow, and I'm like, oh, great.
Yeah, not worth it, eh?
No, absolutely not.
Yeah. Well, what I liked is the developers addressed that they would start taking action against the cheaters, the plug pullers, safe scummers, all that shit. And I'm sure you've run into your fair share of scummy players. I know I have. Not even committing that much to online. Fuck, it's a nightmare. Like, why do you think it's taken this long for them to finally take action?
I mean, to be honest, like with Tekken, I think initially when they first released the game and whatnot, they didn't expect such a positive reaction from the public, purely based on Tag 2 doing terribly. So I think them being able to go into it with like minimal expectation, and then seeing the player base grow drastically and the sales increase and all of this positive, all the positive reviews they're receiving, I think they kind of focused more on putting out content to further increase those positive reviews than make changes appropriate for like the lifeline of the game, you know?
Yeah.
I'm glad that now, I think maybe because they realize they've milked the game enough for now, that they can start making appropriate changes that benefit everyone. I think it's good that they're wanting to implement. Oh, I don't know if they're wanting to. I'm not sure if you said that they are or they aren't. But
I think they said they're going to be more actively like doing stuff to take to employ bans and stuff on people who plug, etc.
Well, the fact that they finally acknowledged that they're willing to, apprehend like the scummy, degenerate online people that do shit like that, I'm quite glad. But at the same time, like it's just way too far gone for it to be impactful, you know?
Yeah.
Like realistically, people who achieved Tekken God Prime, last season, they're setting up an Emperor this season, so it doesn't matter because they're already high enough that they don't need to give a shit anymore. You know, I don't really think it's the right time now. I think it's just way overdue. Like especially with like the netcode changes as well, way overdue.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean it's good that they want to do it, but it would have been much better if they had done it much sooner rather than later.
Who do you know, whether it be our scene or worldwide, who do you know that's infamous for plug pulling, or who are some of the most degenerate, well-known motherfuckers? And I mean, you name whoever you want, I don't care, but it's like, if we know them and people know who they are, who gives a fuck?
Honestly, I don't give a fuck if I say this, but this isn't currently, but this was like mostly when season 3 dropped. But that was fucking Tuba. Holy shit, Tuba was not only infamous for plug pulling and shit. It's also the hate mail and the fucking aggression and the fury.
Yeah.
Like, online Tuba was a force to be reckoned with. Offline Tuba, he's just so docile and he's so adorable.
But you,
But
but you play Tekken. You are a sheep. You are a baby lamb compared to Tuba Online, eh?
yeah, like it doesn't matter. I can plug every game today, and I still wouldn't reach like the 1 percentile mark on Tuba's like career of plugging. Like I'm glad to see that he's definitely made like a lot of improvements and shit, and I can say that
Yeah.
as one of his friends and whatnot. But oh my god, when I first met Tuba, dude, he was just next level, like brain damage inducing. Like oh, there's also like a few other players like Baraka, like an online player, like Aussie player, I think.
Yep.
And then there's also Coffee Guy. Holy shit, man. Those two, those are like that's Jesse and James from Pokemon, dude.
Go hand in
They're
hand,
just
yeah.
blasting. Yeah, they're just blasting off away every time they lose a match.
Jesus.
Honestly, it's crazy. Like Baraka's going to the point where he plugs on load screen.
Oh yeah, that's not yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
which
that's what I love about our Discord channel, and I'm sure everyone has in their scene has Discord. You know, you've got that section for like people who rage quit, who plug and stuff. Do
yeah,
you think? But here's the question: do you, like you can reform some players, but then there are some players like we get the feeling they just won't change. They just won't give a fuck. What do you
yeah.
do with players like that?
I mean, honestly, I I don't really know. Like, it's such a broad, like, broad. Sorry, there's a spectrum of answers because you could say, um, oh, okay, give them a name indicator that shows that they're scummy. Give
Yes,
them a badge that shows that they're scummy. Like things
yes,
like that. Like there could be so many different things that you could implement, but I don't really think it will really solve the problem. I think the only way for these people to really get um like for these abusers to get like apprehended would just be, okay, they're plugging because they don't want to lose their ranked game. I think Tekken should have implemented like a script that picks up on, okay, who was up more rounds. If they're the same rounds, okay, who had less health. Okay, that person now declared the loser, and like just make them lose their points anyways, and repeat offenders get like a major drop in rank. I think that would definitely be the right medicine for them. Or just implementing a penalty that starts off as like a day ban, 3-day ban to like 2 weeks. Like give them more, give them consequences to really be worried about.
yeah,
I don't give a shit. Like if I plug and my name goes red, I don't give a fuck because you won't see that I have a red name until after we're the match together, and then there's nothing you can do about it.
yeah. That's true.
You know.
Yeah,
If anything, if they want to look out for the community that doesn't plug or OF or anything like that, then they could definitely implement like a name or like a badge system where when you're accepting the opponent's match that you can see, oh shit, this person does disconnect quite a lot. I don't know.
or they've been banned for disconnecting within a certain time
Yeah,
frame, so you know how recent it is. Because sometimes, you know, as we said, players can change, and so you kind of let it slide. But if it's recent, you kind of want to know that.
yeah, of course. Like, they it could just be similar to like the Wi-Fi indicator as well. Like, just implement something where if I see the old tuba and he's got like this old F4 badge all over, like plastered all over his name, I'm not gonna fucking play with someone like that because what's the point? I'm gonna play, ideally like 120 seconds worth of a game just to get dumped back into the load screen, which also takes time, which then I have to wait in the warm up space to find someone to load in, and it's just a shitty like a loop. And I just think implementing something where you can stop the loop before it continues on and on and
Yeah,
on, it'll be good. It'll be very beneficial.
yeah. Well, I guess the question I was going to ask is, how soon do you think they would implement this thing, or any kind of system?
To be honest, Tekken doesn't have a good track record of implementing things on time. So I honestly I wouldn't be surprised if it came through halfway next year. Like honestly. And I don't mean that to disrespect the developers. I know especially with this year it's been difficult for them not being able to work locally with one another and working from home, as COVID situations overseas are a bit more dire than ours. But yeah, I don't. Ideally, it would be nice if it came sooner rather than later, but I would expect for it to come at least halfway through next year, at the earliest.
Yeah. Yeah. But Tuba has changed. We like Tuba. Tuba's all good.
We
But
love
I
Tuba.
mean
Tuba's cool.
that's such a good example, I guess, of that kind of what kind of player you do potentially run into, what we go through, you know. If you play
Oh,
online regularly,
absolutely.
it's not fun, man.
I remember my first match with him in particular. I can't remember what happened, but he added me on Steam and then linked me to his Discord, and then he's like, "Join cunt," and I was like, "Yeah, cool, whatever." I thought he was just one of those like friendly, like overly ecstatic players, and I just get yelled at, and I'm like, "Oh, cool, this is fun." And so I just sat there, I just took it, and I was just giving him shit, and then yeah, I don't really know how we became like friends necessarily. I think one day I just kind of saw him streaming and I went and chatted with him, and then yeah, that's where our friendship started. And then he came with us to Southern Cross Up and whatnot, and yeah, he met my dad. He tried to talk to my dad and be like friendly with my dad. My dad was in such a shitty mood. He completely ignored him.
Oh.
But then when I came back from the Southern Cross Up trip, my dad was like, "Hey, your tall white friend, he's pretty nice." And I'm like, "Yeah." I was like, "Maybe next time don't ignore him when he tries to talk to you."
God. Oh, dude. Yeah. Okay. Well, if you could construct what the badge would be, or it's like for me, it should be, you're right, like a badge or sticker that they
Mm.
can't see, you can see, and it's something that they can never remove. But what would you want the badge or the sticker to be?
I think what I would like, not if I could change it from a badge to a sticker, I would kind of like a little timeline of the person's like match history for the most recent 10 games, for example, like they used to have, in
Yeah.
which like you could show if they actually completed the match or not, because you know you could have a disconnection rate of 2%, which is 1 in 50 games, right? And that could be for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Whereas if you could get like a detailed overview of the person's like last 10 games and the completion rate, I don't care about a win-loss ratio. I think a win-loss ratio would be very like toxic, because I could run into you, you could have 10 wins in a row, I could be like, and skip. But at least be able to see whether or not you completed your last 10 matches. That would be cool.
Yeah. That's actually fair. Yeah.
Because like not only do you get like a more accurate depiction of how often this person plugs or not, you can also see if like if they have if they've plugged one match, you could always, you know, it's up to you for you to be like, oh, they could have probably DC'd or desynced or whatever, like, you know. So I guess it gives you enough data for you to make the appropriate decision you think is right.
Yeah. No, that's a good answer, man.
Yeah, that would be what I would do.
All right, man. I'm going to take you to our final segment now. So, are you ready?
Sure. What's happening?
Sweet. Just some random quickfire questions, but answer them in
Okay.
your own time. All right, first one.
Okay.
How would you describe your sense of humor?
Dark.
Really?
Oh, you have no idea. I'm very PG at the moment, but if you see me and Miss Glam together, we joke about the most gruesome or the most just horrifying things. So I would say dark, just to put it lightly.
Okay. Dark.
Yeah, yeah.
Dark and gruesome. All right. Do you prefer Claudio's original Ford 3 or the new Ford 1+2?
To clarify, original Ford 3, are we talking about season 1?
Season 1, when it used to be a mid.
Oh, dude, give me back season 1 Ford 3, man. Oh, that move was good. It had more applications than just the neutral.
If you started season 3 or 4, you have no idea what Ford 3 was in season 1. It was the move.
Forward 3 is what Claudio's current back one is, but better and worse at the same time. Like, oh, dude, Claudio's old Forward 3 was ridiculous, and I fucking loved it, and now it's gone. Forward 1+2 is good though. I like forward 1+2 as well.
All right. What's your favorite vape flavor?
I will show you. It's this brand. It's called Zonk, and the flavor is pink lemonade.
Pink lemonade. Zonk.
It's great. It's an American liquid that's only sourced to a few stores in the country. So, yeah,
High choice. All right. Hildy or Setsuka?
Hilda or Setsuka. Setsuka, absolutely Setsuka.
Yep. All right. Ooh. What's been your most bizarre life experience?
Oh shit. Back when I was in school, we went on a school trip to Hawaii for band, and there's a lot of buskers and whatnot. And so there was this guy, this African American guy, really cool, really nice. Up until he was like, "If you give me $10, I'll freestyle about you." And his freestyle proceeded to completely insult me based on my heritage and made a lot of jokes about my nose being really big and shit.
What the hell, man?
But it was funny. I applaud him for him being a comic, but not so much a rapper. As much as he'd like to think he is, no.
No. Fuck
No.
off.
That was funny. It was a good $10 well spent. Don't get me wrong. But that was really bizarre. He also sold me his mixtape, and I bought it and then proceeded to throw it in the rubbish as he was watching me walk away.
Yeah, damn right, man.
Yeah, that was fun.
All right. In your opinion, who is the strongest Khan? Kotal Khan or Shao Kahn?
Ooh, I mean, Shao Kahn only really died in Mortal Kombat 9 because Raiden had to get the powers of like the Elder Gods and shit, so it took a lot to kill him. Whereas Kotal Khan gets thrown around like a fucking ragdoll. Although Kotal Khan's got some like blood magic shit going on, and I admire his design, he's definitely not on the same level as Shao Kahn. Shao Kahn definitely trumps him.
What would you have as your walk-in song when you enter a space?
Ooh, let me have a very quick look at what I've been abusing lately on my playlist because this is. I don't know. I have a few, but I'll pick two. I'll pick two songs.
Right.
One song would be. It's from Glee, but it's called Buenos Aires. It's like a musical. It's a song from a musical. It's very, very flamboyant, but not like not overly flamboyant. But it's just so very just in your face, Latin inspired, and I love that song as well. So I quite like it. But if I had to pick a song for like as my theme song, as like my walk-in song, I'd probably pick "Bad Guy" from Billie Eilish, personally.
Okay. Yeah.
Mostly for the part that obviously very catchy song, very good rhythm, so it's very walkable. But also in the song there is a bit of a distinct difference in the ending part, which could kind of like resemble just kind of aesthetic versus interior, I guess, in the sense. You know, you were a bit surprised when I said my humor is very dark, and that song at the end is quite dark, and it's not so comical, and you know, it's got that weird like clown kind of music feel to it, and it just gets really dark and interesting. Yeah, definitely love
Okay. I would never have picked that up about you, though.
it. I put on a good front.
All right. How high or low would you rate Safina's downforward one strings?
Ooh, how high or low? I won't rate them too high or too low. I think they're quite standard. In the neutral, just because Duckable 4 extension from downforward 1, you can launch that. Or downforward 1 2 on its own -13, downforward 1 2 1 -13. So knowing when to punish it appropriately is a bit of a mix up in itself. But you put Zafina's downforward 1 2 1 against the wall for a wall combo in there, definitely high tier. Like I would put it like at the top.
Okay. Nice. Who's the most unga bunga player in the NZFGC?
That's Tuba. That's fucking Tuba. It has to be Tuba.
Is it really?
Honestly, just some of the dumb shit he does, and just most like he's just so wacky sometimes. Like he has the capacity to play really proper and like in a competitive manner, but online and shit, or when he's just fucking around like in casuals, he is definitely just unga bunga. He's cooked.
Good. Bloody hell. And who is your waifu, Tristan?
I don't know if waifu applies to me directly. I think it would be more husbando.
Yeah, well, it could be a husbando. Yeah.
Um, I would probably have to pick. I have to pick Shaheen. Shaheen's definitely my husbando.
Shaheen, not Claudio. This is a
No, no.
first.
Claudio's head's too small. It's like disproportionate to the rest of his body. Um, and honestly, if at least with Shaheen we get to keep the Middle Eastern genes very like prominent throughout the bloodline, so it's fine. I'm happy with that. I don't know how that would work in terms of reproduction, but definitely Shaheen, hands down.
Okay. Sweet. Hey, listen, thanks again, man, for coming on. To your friends and family, do you have any last words or shout outs for them?
I probably won't want my family watching this after admitting Shaheen's my husbando, but to my friends, I do want to say that they motivate me and inspire me a lot. Like notably, Miss Glam, Dizzledan, Lionheart, to an extent, Tubar as well. And a few of my online other friends. I do have a lot of appreciation for what they've done for me, and how they support me and how we support each other, and just the network we've kind of established with one another. Special shout out to Dean or Arashi just for all the work and effort he puts into the Hamilton community. Honestly, Hamilton is absolutely blessed to have someone like him. And yeah, no, to everyone else who's watching as well, and the people who watch my streams and keep up with me on Twitter and stuff, I have a massive appreciation for you guys as well, just because it just means a lot that you take the time out of your day to come and spend it with me, even though you're not directly with me, but being there for me and supporting me in whatever way possible. It's an inexplainable gratitude that I have for you.